Hello and welcome to another Entropia Universe video. I want to start off by apologising for the delay in doing another Entropia Universe video because I've been away on holiday. And if you've caught my other video recently, you will have already found out that I've been in Italy enjoying the sights and whatnot there. So, I'm finally back, and it appears my rabbit is poorly. It just seems to be flopping on the floor as though it's ill. Um, I'm not really sure what to say about that. This seems to be a trait of pets these days. Anyway, in this video, what we're going to have a look at are Longtooth. Now, Longtooth are basically a migration creature, and they only come about during the migration, which happens in the summer months, along with the Eomon. And I thought I would cover the Longtooth themselves, just to explain a little bit about them. Sorry for the low frames per second, because the disk that the video is being written to is being rammed by other activities at the same time. So sorry about that. So here we are. We're at I can't even remember the name of this place now. Just remind myself. Camp Icarus. Now, at Camp Icarus, what we have are the shared loot Longtooth Young. And here's one just here. Now, we can see already that the Longtooth is essentially an Exarosaur. And he's come to say hello. So, as you can see, he's a very, very big Exarosaur. But these guys only, like I said, only appear during the summer migration. Now, with these shared loot ones, obviously newbies can team up and they can all chip away at it, eventually killing it and getting a shared loot. The youngs aren't particularly challenging. In fact, if I can find one, here we go. You can see that with the with my IM2870, this is going down pretty easy. I'm naked right now. The hits aren't coming in, and job done. Not particularly challenging. Now, if you're a newbie, then obviously the situation's going to be a little harder. These guys do have a tendency to hit quite often if your evade is not at the right level. But other than that, they're fairly low end. Now, Longtooth do 100%, as far as I'm aware, 100% impact damage. So if you're looking to protect yourself against them, you'll obviously be wanting to use armors that give good protection in impact. Now, if you're doing the youngs, like these, you could see the hits coming in there were around the kind of, well, let's just look back through system. And we can see there's a 19 there, 17, 26 there, 17. So let's just say between 15 and 30, somewhere in there. So if you're running with, say, something really newbie like Pixie or Goblin, you'd be taking a considerable amount of the damage off that. And if you're fortunate enough to have some plates that protect an impact as well, that's going to improve the situation quite a bit. So that's the youngs, and these guys have been sat around Camp Icarus. I think they've been here quite a while actually. Whereas the rest of the migration has been moving across the map, and they were kind of over this area over here. But I understand that they've kind of moved, and they're now over here. So I'm going to go over there now and show you those variants. Now the guys that sit over at what is now Cape Corinth, they're the much, well, I would say not much, but they are the higher levels of maturity. So we're looking at provider up to dominant, which for mid-level avatars, it's it's a good level of mob. The dominants are quite a bit they're quite a bit more challenging than the providers. So I mean, I find them quite challenging, and I'm a level 15 evader, level 47 going on 48 hit, and remind myself, I think it's about 40 on damage. Yeah, here we go, 47 over 40. And then the evader, yeah, we're about a third of the way through that. So the dominants do provide a little bit of a challenge. Let me hop in my Sleipnir when it loads. There we go, finally. And we'll just take a little flight. Now I have to remind myself where they are, so I think they're roughly over this way. Now it's been quite fiddly trying to kind of keep a track of where they are. Even harder to keep hold of, keep a track of, were the Molmans, the kind of the lowest level but still mid-level Molmans. I have no idea where they've gone now. Right, let's head over this way. Here we go. Yeah, here they are. Right, so just set down here, and we can have a look at this glorious Cape Corinth vista. Set this down here. And pick this up. Now, for these guys, I tend to run with the Viceroy and 5B combination. That tends to work quite well for me. Aside from the dominance, I think really you could use this gear, but you need a bit more evade. Really, I would probably be looking at somewhere around level 25 and up. At least have avoidance, something like that. The Guardians are, they're easy enough to do. And we'll see here. The odd. Oh, and we start off with a crit. I shouldn't really have healed that. It wasn't a big one, but there you go. So you can see the hits here aren't particularly challenging. But these guys have quite a lot of HP. Now this is, the youngs. They've got a fair amount of HP, but not anywhere near as much as these guys. And the dominants obviously are that bit much more. And that was a better than average loot there from one of those. Again, these guys hitting for 100% impact. And here you can see health level massive, and I think what this transpires to is, if I don't slate me if I get this wrong, but I think that's 2,200 hit points, which seems about right. But I'll have to check that. And then we can see the Longtooth. But obviously we've got them in front of us anyway. So yeah, essentially these are just badass Exarosaurs, and we all know Exarosaurs to be, you know, a fairly newbie mob, and this gives the lower end players a foot into the migration kind of stuff that's going on, because Eamons are just so much harder to hunt. And I may cover the Eamons in another video, but I can't hunt them, certainly not without a Fapper. So yeah, whether I do that or not is another thing. So that was more of an average loot there. Okay, so just looking at the dominant variant of these mobs, these guys, as I said already, are quite a bit more troublesome. Here we can see health level extremely high, and this is reflected by the fact we've got a stamina now reading 398, so that would translate to 3,980 HP, which is nearly double that of the Guardian. And the noticeable difference with those is how often they hit in comparison to the other mob. And I'll just tag one over here, and we can see just how bad the situation is. Now, like I said, I'm running the Viceroy in 5Bs, and look, the hits are quite high compared to what they were previously. There's a 42 coming in there, and if you notice, it's hitting nearly every time. You know, and this is only one level up from the Guardian. I mean, when I say one level, I mean one maturity level. It's actually quite a few levels, mob levels higher, or threat levels higher, and for good reason. I mean, you can see the obvious difference here. It's taken me an awful lot longer to take this down, and he's hitting much harder, so I'm having to hit the FAP quite often. So what I don't want to risk is a crit coming in and taking me down. Now, by definition, this is uneconomical hunting. You know, to have to keep healing yourself like this, while the hit's coming in as well, it's not an economical hunt. So, like I said, I'm at level 15 Evader. I think if you're of a similar level to me in that regard, I would avoid the dominance and just stick to Guardian and below, because the Guardians give us much less of a hard time. Okay, so that pretty much concludes this video. So once again, Longtooth, the migration mob based off the Exarosaur, pretty easy in the grand scheme of things, but you'll want to be focusing on impact protection if you're going to go up against these, and I would recommend having, you know, a half decent level of FAP. So I run with the EK 2350. That's probably a little bit overkill. You could probably get away with a little bit less. Oh look, and we've been blessed with some Hymeros. That means to me that I'm on a bad loot swing, so thanks for that, Mind Up. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this brief video on the Longtooth, and please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, and bye-bye. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, and also don't forget to subscribe for more Entropia Universe videos. Right, I better step off this thing before I fall off. Ah!